Welcome to the Rundown. My name is Ryan.
My name is Ray.
Ray, we officially have a series in the NBA Finals. I was worried it was going to be a sweep there for a second.
I was getting worried.
But Spurs came back, much to the dismay of Knicks fans everywhere. Also, Knicks fans, PSA, keep your hands to yourself. Don't beat up opposing fans. I don't even know what we're doing here, but that's enough of that.
You're drawing attention away from what's actually a really good moment for the city right now, and we don't need that. We don't need that.
Let's not do it.
We had some yeah.
But I will say to the Knicks fans that did come back to Madison Square Garden with Sage, well done. That was probably
with
what
Sage?
you needed to do. Yeah. They were saging the outside of the building. Which,
after the loss?
Listen, yes, change the energy. Fully agree with it. Let's do it for sure.
Okay, before we get into the game itself, right? So this was a topic of contention. I believe it was on First Take. What did you feel? Because the hype before the series was the atmosphere of Madison Square Garden and what it was going to be like to have the first finals game in Madison Square Garden since 1999. What was your overall feel of the vibe of the arena that night? Did you feel like the energy lived up to what we were expecting, or was it underwhelming for you?
I think it lived up to what I thought it would be, but I don't necessarily think that was a good thing. I felt like the energy was really weird in the arena. Yes, it was loud. It was in your face, but it was definitely weird. Probably a lot of that due to some distractions that we all know what we all know what I'm saying when I say distractions. We don't need to get into that because it's really not a part of the game. But I do think that there was a really high energy level, but it didn't necessarily feel like positive energy. It felt very intense. And I just feel like there was so much riding on that game. I feel like that energy really fucked with the Knicks. The team itself during that game, there were moments where they had rhythm and it worked really well. But the beginning of that game just felt like nerves all day long from them and inconsistent in a way that I was definitely not used to seeing, the past however many games since the Hawks, pretty much. I mean, so
if we're talking length of time wise, that was the first game that the Knicks lost in a month and a half. Think about that.
Crazy.
That's
absolutely crazy.
We talk about generational runs. The Knicks were literally on a generational run with the win streak that they have. I believe it ended at 12 or 13 consecutive games before they lost that game. But a couple of things. Firstly, the Knicks are doing themselves no favors with how they're starting these games, right? So during the broadcast of Game 3, they mentioned that in all three games, the Knicks were down double digits in the first quarter. Right. Yeah. So they won the first two games. They were able to overcome a slow start and eventually pull both of those games out. But Game 3, they weren't able to do that. Let me tell you something. The Spurs are a good team, right?
Yeah.
Let's not forget the Spurs the Spurs were down 3-2 against the Thunder. They won Game 6 at home and then had to go to OKC to win that Game 7. Yeah. The Spurs are not a pushover. After Game 2 was over and the Knicks went up 2-0, I understand what that must have felt like to Knicks fans and to pretty much fans around the world that were watching this series. The Spurs lose the first two games at home, right? I was in a panic mode, right? Because on the last pod, I picked the Spurs in 6 in this series. Right?
You did so confidently. That was maybe the best pick. That was the best take I think I've seen. Yeah, so, not being biased. That was great. Yeah,
they go down 2-0. I'm that's seriously in jeopardy. In fact, the percentage chances on that are very slim, very unlikely, right? But then it's everybody wrote the Spurs off at that point. But my thing is, we've seen them battle adversity already through these playoffs, right? Again, being down 3-2 to OKC, being able to beat the defending champs on the road in their building for a game to send them to Game 7, right? So, and if you're the Spurs, you're looking at these first couple games. I mean, the Knicks were blowing all these Eastern Conference teams right out of the water.
For sure.
None of their final games were close. They're winning by 20 points every game. The Spurs were not in that situation with the Knicks. They did lose the first 2 games at home, but both of those games were close. Both of those games were within 5 points within the last minute of the game. They came down essentially to the final few possessions. So I'm sure the Spurs mentality after game 2 was like, shit, like we definitely messed up giving up home court advantage, dropping these first 2, but we're very much still in this series. And one game can change everything. And it's funny how like one game can literally change everything for both sides, right?
For
because
sure.
the Knicks go up 3-0. We already know the statistics behind that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like no team has ever come back from being down 3-0 in a series in the NBA. So the series would have been over essentially had the Knicks won that game.
Yeah.
But now it's like the Knicks drop one game and I'm starting to feel the panic. I'm starting to feel the panic in the Knicks fans. Just one game. That's all it took, Ryan. Just one game. And now they get nervous because they realize what's at stake tonight. Because as we speak, at the time of this recording, that game 4 will start in about an hour. The Knicks have a lot at stake here. If they lose this game, they've lost their home court advantage back to the Spurs. And now we have to go back to San Antonio for game 5. And if you're the Spurs, I mean, you're feeling good going into game 5. And if you're the Knicks, and you still feel that you can win the series, because again, one game will change everything. But what a turn of events that would be after how we viewed this series after game 2, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Editing that last episode where you did your picks and, obviously it takes a lot to edit and, all the things that go into that. And I'm just watching these games like, oh shit, like, is this even going to play well? Like when we post this, is this even going to the definition of like, that did not age well.
After
and it was
game 2, that take was aging terribly. And listen, the Knicks still have a chance to make that age, not so well. They could go, up 3-1 tonight. They could. And they could look to close it out in a couple days in San Antonio game 5. And they could still make me look terrible. But let me tell you something.
Well, both of us, but yeah.
If the Spurs win tonight, that pick that I made is very much at play. And I might be looking a little bit like a prophet.
Imagine the sweep. Imagine a 4 games, just
like 4 consecutive wins by the Spurs.
Yeah.
I don't.
Still
That would be something special. That would be something special.
I think. Listen, when I go back and look at like game 1, the Spurs just lost it at the end. It was a lost control. Yeah. I feel similarly about the second game, but I really want us all to remember that if Wemby makes that shot, the Knicks don't win that game.
No, absolutely.
Like it's like absolutely. So let's be very clear that like okay, you're the stat man, so I'm going to let you completely correct me if I'm wrong on this podcast.
Okay.
But the sense of when I'm watching these games, the Spurs are losing control and New York just picks it up at the right time. I don't find that the Knicks there are Knick players that are playing exceptionally well, but Cat hasn't had points in the fourth quarter in any of these games.
No.
I swear to God that's correct. What? You can fact check me right now.
Wow.
But like that is I thought I posted something on our story about that.
If that is accurate,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
That is insanity.
Do you know but you see what I'm saying? That like that's
well listen, game 3, for the totality of game 3, he only had 11 points. Right?
And he has to have more than that.
I'm going to go back to what we said when we first started this podcast, before we were ever even on video, before you could see our faces. For New York to be successful and to actually win a championship, they need a Robin to Jalen Brunson. And that person, unequivocally, it has to be Karl Anthony Towns, right? And credit to the Knicks. They essentially breezed through the East to make it to the finals, right? And I remember a few episodes ago, I looked at Kat and I said, you know what? Like, the Knicks have been doing great, and Cat has not really done anything to where I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay, this is the guy that I needed to see. He was having solid games, but he didn't have these type of games that made me look at him and I was like, okay, that's the Cat that I've been looking for. Now, in his defense, the first few games of the series and to an extent, game 3 of the finals, he has played great defense to it.
Sure. Yes.
On Victor Wembanyama as much as you can on Vic, especially the first 2 games in San Antonio, right? But we're starting to see, especially in game 3, like the Spurs have Jalen Brunson bottled the fuck up. Okay.
Yes.
Like he has still been Jalen Brunson at moments. He hit a huge shot in game 2. And he's hit big shots already in this series, but the Spurs are giving him the SGA treatment. Did you see what they did to SGA the last round? Because SGA was not SGA against the Spurs.
No,
I think he still averaged about 25 points. He still did his thing, but we're used to SGA averaging 30 and up, right? So they bottled up SGA the best way you can bottle up SGA. And now I'm seeing them do the exact same thing to Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson is going to get his. You can't really stop him from scoring, but what you can do is apply pressure to him. So this is the time where I need to see Karl Anthony Towns step up. 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3. That's not going to get it done.
Nope.
Especially when you don't have really anyone else in that game step up outside of OG Anunoby, who actually had a
shout out to him
fantastic game.
And
Great
that was
game
a clutch 3 in game 3. Clutch 3. Josh Hart also played well that game as well. I believe
he did.
But yeah,
he went 4 of 7 from 3. Josh Hart did. Yep, he had a good game.
Karl Anthony Towns has scored 0 points in every fourth quarter in the finals.
Wow, you can't have
ESPN.
that.
No,
you know what? With that stat, I might argue that the Knicks are lucky that they're up 2-1.
I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, that can't be true. And then, of course, like it is true
because it's ESPN.
Stat. But it's a shocking stat. And, listen, I think that, in game 3, the Knicks just got outplayed. They tried to come back.
Spurs wanted it more.
Listen, and everybody's talking about the reffing. And here's what I'm going to say about that. The Wemby, that should have been a flagrant. They missed that. They dropped the ball on that. That clearly
I won't give you pushback on that. I agree.
Yeah. Shoved Brunson, and honestly, slightly comical just based on size difference to watch that occur.
Right.
But that should have been called.
Yeah,
but
it should have.
I'm also going to say you had plenty of opportunity within that game to win that game without the refs being a part of that scenario. So we can talk about how that should have been a call and, by all rights, it should have been. But that's not why you lost.
And there were shots missed at the end of the game by the Knicks. That wasn't the refs.
Nope.
There were turnovers by Jalen Brunson.
So many turnovers.
That wasn't the refs. And to his credit, he acknowledged his turnovers at the end of the game. I believe he was asked, what do you think was one of the major reasons that you guys took the loss today? And he said, I need to be better taking care of the basketball. So he took accountability there. But the Spurs are playing physical. It's the finals. Nobody's surprised by this. And you see how fast, Ryan, the narrative changed. I gave the Spurs up until next year of success for people to start getting on Wemby, people to start hating on the Spurs, the same way that everybody's hating on OKC right now for being the champions last year and nearly getting back to the finals this year. Everybody, the second that the Spurs won game 7, it was, oh, thank you for saving America. Thanks for saving basketball. Wemby saved basketball today. And now, just 3 games into the NBA finals, he has become the villain. He's a dirty player, I'm seeing on Instagram. The Spurs are a dirty basketball team. They play dirty. The refs are on the Spurs side. The NBA doesn't want the Knicks to win. Hold on. Weren't the Knicks just up 2-0 in this series? But now, because the Spurs won 1 game, now all of a sudden the NBA doesn't want the Knicks to win. The Knicks came into that game winners of 12 or 13 games in a row. What do you mean the NBA doesn't want the Knicks to win?
And by all rights, the Knicks should have won that game. They should have come into Madison Square Garden. They should have came in confident, which I don't believe they did.
Had the crowd behind them, yep.
Felt very skittish. They just did not seem to be in flow. Again, there were players that I felt executed things really, really well, but on the whole, and I don't want to lay it all on Brunson because it's not all on Brunson, but he's got to play a little better. Like
he does. He needs to make better decisions.
He
needs to make better decisions with the basketball. It was interesting to me. He's actually a -9 for plus minus
crazy.
on the court.
That's so crazy.
And Mikal Bridges with his 2 points plus 11, but Mikal Bridges he's out there a lot for his defense. But at the same time, he had a game. He actually had a stretch against the Cavaliers where he was lights out.
Oh, for sure.
And we looked at him and we said, okay, this is why we gave the Brooklyn Nets 4 or 5 first round picks. For these are the type of games that we need. Not for you to go 2 points, 1 of 5 in an NBA Finals game. So I will give OG Anunoby credit. He stepped up in a big way in that game 3. Almost 30 points, right up there with Jalen Brunson. But we're going to need more of that, and it's going to be more. It's going to have to be more than OG Anunoby that steps up. Josh Hart, again, he also had a good game. But if we're looking at people who are going to genuinely move the needle for the Knicks and get them over this hump, because they're not over the hump just yet. I understand they're still up in the series, but it's not over. They need Cat. They need Cat to step up, and I'm looking for him to not just have a big game today, but like be aggressive. You're attempting 10 shots. Guess who else attempted 10 shots? Josh Hart. Josh Hart is not your second or third or fourth, I would argue, best offensive player. That would be you, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
So they need an aggressive Cat. They need Jalen Brunson to make smarter decisions coming out of that double team. And the Knicks got to get used to this series being physical, because that's all that the Spurs are. You got Stephen Castle. You got Devin Vassell.
He was so clutch.
Yeah, you got Keldon Johnson
at the end of that game. Yeah,
you got and I just want to give flowers really quick to Dylan Harper, okay? Because regular season, I live on the East Coast. If the game is not nationally televised, I don't see many Spurs games.
Yeah.
So I have not been able to see Dylan Harper consistently throughout this year, but he is impressing the fuck out of me. Just this entire playoff run, not just in the finals, but just this entire playoff run. He's like so like poised, and he, for a guy who's only 20 years old, it seems like he hardly ever makes a bad decision with the basketball. He's fearless. He takes big shots. He hit a big 3. I believe it was in game 2. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. And kudos to the Spurs for hitting on Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
Because they had a top pick last year. They could have chosen anybody, and they went with Dylan Harper. And this kid is a hooper. Like I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. And he, ironically, has been a huge needle mover for the Spurs. So I look to see, I look for him to have a huge impact in the rest of the series.
I mean, I would also say, the one criticism I will give the Spurs is I'm going to need Fox to be more consistent. I feel like I can't believe
we have gone almost 20 minutes and I haven't mentioned De'Aaron Fox.
I just find him incredibly inconsistent and at this point overrated. Wow.
Listen,
be better, please.
I think it was in the final minute of the game last night or 2 nights ago. He did hit a huge shot.
He did. Okay? Yeah.
But I was surprised when that shot went in, because he played like garbage all game.
Yeah.
I mean, he was missing contested threes, wide open threes, mid range, layups. Like, I'm like, this is not the guy that the Spurs thought that they were getting. Like, they thought they expected him to be the second best player alongside Wemby. Like, I don't know if he's playing banged up. I want to give him that out because I actually like De'Aaron Fox. So, and I know he averaged 24 or 25 points at one point for the Sacramento Kings. Like, I know he has the ability to be that guy, but I was far from impressed game 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Game 3 by what I saw from him. And in fact, when he took that shot, I said, no.
I
know. Kudos to him. He made the shot when it actually mattered most in the game. But for the Spurs to be successful the rest of this series, he can't play how he did. He can't play how he did in game 3 and much of this series, honestly.
Yeah. Honestly, it's really going to be interesting to see where the series goes, because could I see the Knicks taking it back this game? Yeah, I could see them, reminding themselves who they are, what they've accomplished, bringing it back. I can totally see that. On the other hand, I can totally see the Spurs go, and we got it. And like that, all it takes is one game to flip a switch.
Yep.
And then you are on a different level. And I don't know. I'm now at a point where I'm like, I feel like this could really go either way. I'm still leaning more towards Spurs, though. I really do think Game 3 was a game changer for them. And I do think you're going to continue to see them be more dominant and more physical. And, I think the Knicks, I would say that the Spurs have consistently had to play very physical games in the playoffs up until this point. Like it has been, you had the Timberwolves who were not giving up on anything. OKC, very physical. They have been challenged this entire playoff run. And the Knicks, minus the few games in Atlanta, shockingly enough, no. Not physical,
at all, really.
No. They're just walking through stuff. And listen, and playing obviously well. You don't, that last game against Atlanta, was it the last game or the game before where it was like, I don't know how many points they won by. But
I believe it was that closeout game. And then that actually began a pattern for them in these closeout games because they also beat Philly by 40 and then they went on to beat the Cavs by 40. And the Knicks were breezing through these teams.
Not playing well. You're playing exceptionally well, breezing through things, but you're also not playing a physical game. You're now playing a team that doesn't give a fuck. They are ready to go and ready to win, and they're going to be consistently physical about that. And I just like watching Wemby. He should probably have more flagrant fouls called on him, but sometimes I'm just like, you're just so big. Of course you're hitting people in the face. They're only coming up to your elbow. You're 7'5". What are we supposed to do with this?
Here's the thing with Wemby though, right? So he got a flagrant foul. He actually was ejected earlier in these playoffs. He elbowed, was it Jaden McDaniels? I believe he elbowed it was someone in the Minnesota Timberwolves series.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting ejected for that, right? Then he throws Jalen Brunson on the ground in game 3.
Yeah.
Not a good look. We both
not.
agree, probably should have got a flagrant for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we also acknowledge how physical everybody else is when they play against Wemby? Because I see a lot of grabbing. I see a lot of shoving. They brutalize Wemby. Every series that he's been in past the first round, because they played the Blazers, I believe, in the first round. Every series.
Notice how I didn't even bring them up.
I did. Every single team has been extremely physical with him. Now, as a maturing player, he does have to understand that.
Yes.
I can't get frustrated in these big moments, especially in the game that he got ejected from. I think he learned some things from that, but it's easy to get frustrated on his part, but he does have to learn how to rein that in. But this is not a one-sided thing, you guys.
No.
If you watch off ball when Wemby is trying to get free, he's being grabbed, thrown, pushed, shoved constantly. It's all game. Now, they might not all be as egregious as what he did to Jalen Brunson, but the contact and the physicality is there on both sides. And if the Knicks want to continue being competitive in this series, they got to knuck up. Listen, after the last game, Mike Brown in his post-game presser, he had some words about the discrepancy in the fouls between the two teams and how he thought the game was called unfairly. I'm be real with you. I'm not trying to hear it.
Yeah, no.
It's the finals, bro. It's the finals.
Yeah.
And if you watched anything from the Spurs series with OKC, you had to know this is how it was going to be going in. And let me also tell you something. The officiating wasn't a problem the first 2 games of the series when you won in San Antonio. Now were they?
Yep.
So I'm not trying to hear that after your first loss in a month and a half. It's okay to go out there and say, we didn't get it done. We got off to a slow start. We can't keep doing that. We can't keep being down 10 points or more in the first quarter. We can't get off to bad starts because we're not always going to come back from a double-digit deficit. And we did it tonight. We need to be better. I'm not trying to hear about the refs.
No, No, especially when, again, like, we said before, like, you had other opportunities to win this game. That those calls were not the make it or break it moments.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's different in different sports. Like, it's very different in football, where, like, if you do get, like, a touchdown, like, recalled because of some hold that somebody did with, like, those calls
Mm-hmm.
matter because those
Game
are, like,
changing calls. Yeah.
those are game changing calls. But, like, I feel like in the NBA, there are calls that happen all the time. And it's just a matter of what, so yeah, maybe that last quarter for you, there were some calls that shouldn't have been called or that weren't called and that, mess up that quarter for you. But what happened in the first quarter? What happened in the second quarter? Like, this is a full, this is a full game. It's not just the fourth quarter that matters. All of it matters.
And Knicks fans, you guys have Jalen Brunson. There's not many people in the league that get more foul calls than Jalen Brunson. Let's just keep it a stack, okay?
Foul baiter, yep.
I mean, we talk about SGA, but Jalen Brunson is on that foul baiter radar.
For sure.
Like, let's be real, okay? So it's like, I understand it's frustrating. Like, you feel like the refs may have over blown the whistle a little bit on the Knicks in this game, but you get your fair share of that on the other end.
For sure.
So I expect the Knicks to bounce back in this game. I don't want to hear anything about refs or anything like that. I just want to see them go out, and I just need to see Cat have more of an impact on this series.
For sure.
If the Knicks are going to come out on top. For
sure. It'll be interesting to see where this series goes. I will say that
Spurs in 6, man. I still got the Spurs in 6, man.
I still think so as well. I think they could totally win 4 games in a row. I don't think that's I think that's plausible. So,
While unlikely, not impossible.
Not impossible. Like Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible.
Nice little Celtics plug there.
But I will say, I know that the Knicks fans really wanted to sweep in 4. They really wanted, that was what they wanted. They wanted to, take care of this game. But finals are meant to be fun. They're meant to be, like, competitive. And now it feels like we're getting a finals. And I'm excited about that. And I wish more people would be more excited about that as well. But
no, what it really is for the Knicks is they won't believe that they have a championship until it's literally in their hands, in their palms. They have had too many experiences since 1973 to where, like, this is why they're panicking after one loss. This is why the city was almost up in flames after one loss in the NBA Finals. It's because they're like, if we don't sweep, anything can happen. Yeah, it's over. It's essentially over. So it's funny for me to see, but I'm definitely interested to see how the rest of the series plays out. It's gonna be a good one. The Spurs are not just gonna roll over and allow the Knicks to take this. Not at all.
Not at all. I do think Wemby would have done well in the 90s. A little too thin, but he would have played well in 90s basketball.
They might have broke him in half in the 90s. I don't know. I don't know.
They would have toughened him up.
That elbow,
I think he would have made it work.
That elbow that he gave in that series against Minnesota, somebody would have gave it to him. There would have been no call or common foul. Common foul. Side out.
It would have gone straight to his stomach. It wouldn't have even hit the neck. It would have just hit him in the ribs or someplace.
He would have broke his ribs. Yeah, he would have been out.
That's probably true. Oh my God! Imagine him versus Shaq. That would have been crazy. All right. So looking forward to Game 4. I hope it's a good one. I'm assuming it will be, so we'll have to see in roughly 30 some minutes. But quickly, just to touch on 2 things in the NFL. Contract extensions for 2 notable people. First being Patrick Mahomes.
My boy.
Not unexpected. I thought that was... I was like, yeah, sure, okay. There's zero surprise from me on that. Also, to know, what is it, 500 and some...
Yo, the first NFL player to have a contract that's worth over $500 million. He's
well deserved. Yeah.
I can appreciate you admitting that. I really can.
I mean, listen, I don't like the Chiefs, but you can't deny what they've done. Andy Reid is a fantastic coach. You can't take that away. He's had such a legacy wherever he's gone. The Chiefs didn't get the three-peat, but they've got rings, and you can't take those away from them. Like, you just can't. So I don't like them, but that doesn't mean that I can't acknowledge the talent. So
his new
to Patrick
AAV,
Mahomes.
$64 million a year. And he deserves every penny of it. Good job for you.
Hey, Pat, I've got some student loans that are a little outstanding. If you wanted to contact me and pay those off, that would be absolutely.
You have loyal fans out there who need help, Pat.
I'm not a loyal fan, but if you could help me, that I would be very grateful. I could become a loyal fan.
She did concede that you deserve the money, so that has to mean something.
The other contract extension that I wanted to touch on was Christian Watson, plays for the Green Bay Packers. And I don't have a strong feeling either way about this, but I don't know. You've been hurt a lot. When you make great catches, and he does make great catches, I'm not going to take that away from him because he's made some pretty great ones for us, but I don't know. And that I read and was like, I mean, I guess, but okay. I wasn't very thrilled.
Do you think that's a consensus for most of Green Bay fans, or like what's the vibe behind Christian Watson?
I think people are. Listen, again, I think it comes down to injury. Like, I think that Christian Watson when he's played well for us, he's played well, but he hasn't been around. He's been out. He's been inconsistent in play. He hasn't, I think been able to really reach his full potential due to injury. And I got to be honest, when I'm evaluating and looking at players, I will tell you that injury is a big factor for me and whether or not I really want them to get paid big money. Like, it's not that you don't do well for us, but like consistently do you do well for us is questionable. So I'm not mad about it. But like when I look at our receiving core, I'm kind of like, what are we doing here? I would love for Devontae Adams to come back to us. He's not going to, but like that's the kind of player I want. Oh my God, I would love him to come back.
I'm a Devontae Adams fan. I like Devontae Adams.
He's great. I think he comes off as like very aloof and kind of like a dick, like when you hear him talk, but I liked him on the Receiver show. I thought he was, that's on Netflix. Like I like him, but we need a stronger presence. I really do think our rookie from last season, Matthew Golden, can get there. Like I do have, but again, injury with him. He was, kind of in and out last season as well. So I don't know. I mean, thank God we get Tucker Kraft back, but that's like the, but I miss when we had, when we had Jordy Nelson and when we had Donald Driver and we may had, even Randall Cobb to some extent. Like, we had people that I felt we could really count on. And it isn't, I wasn't overly sad to see Romeo Doubs go. Like, I liked him as a player, but I just feel like Jordan needs a guy, like the guy.
Yeah, I think that would take you guys over the top.
I really do too. I really do too. So we'll have to see. But listen, I'm not going to fault anybody for getting their bag because you put your body on the line for me to enjoy a game, so you should be paid and be paid properly. But I do think there were people who were like, "Yeah, really? All right,
that's what we're paying."
Yeah, I think that was more of the consensus. Was we weren't mad that we were paying him, but I think people were like, "That seems
why him?"
a lot."
Yeah,
yeah, it was just like that seems like a lot of money. But hopefully he stays healthy this season, and Jordan can throw it downfield because those are his specialties. He can go down the field. He is dangerous down there. Hopefully that stays. So, and then the Bears are maybe moving to Indiana for sure.
I thought this was confirmed. No.
Yeah, like it is. They're moving forward with the stadium project, I think. So
they're not renaming them, though, are they?
I mean, I think the whole of the NFC North outside of Chicago probably will. But no, I don't think so. I think it'll be similar to, the Jets and the Giants, who also do not play in New York.
It's like not quite the same though for some reason for me.
It's not. I think it's just because Chicago, the Bears are just that like storied institution. Like they've just been there for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, how are you not in the city? And how are you not in the state? I think that's more of the problem. Like, I think if they would have moved to like, because there was talk of them, obviously we've spoken about this before, moving to North Chicago. And that I think would have made more sense to stay in Illinois, but it just feels like the Indiana Bears. What are we doing here?
Indiana Bears is crazy.
And you're going to build a dome, which you shouldn't do because you're going to lose.
I don't know. That's just, that whole situation is weird. Yeah.
That matters in Chicago.
Well, yeah, because it's like, that's kind of their advantage of playing there.
Take away your weapon. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I mean, so many teams fail in Green Bay just because, like, they play in Atlanta. Like, they can't.
Maybe they feel like that's not been only a deterrent to the away teams, but to them too. Maybe they feel like that's what's been holding them back.
I don't know. All I know is that I feel like the Bears are going to come into the season cocky, and I can't wait for them to fucking fall apart. And I want somebody to just, like, annihilate Caleb Williams.
Would they be cocky because Caleb Williams was officially announced as the cover for Madden 27?
You know, my favorite part about that was you texting me and being like, you're going to be mad. And I thought it was like something like more like I thought something really bad had happened. And you
I needed some build up. I needed some build up to it.
This fucking bullshit. Listen, you know, yeah, I don't like Caleb Williams.
You just said you're here for anyone trying to get their bag. You just said that.
I may make an exception. My exception is Caleb Williams. Now, you know, listen, I can sit here and I can say Pat Mahomes should get that money because Pat Mahomes has earned that money. And I'm not saying that Caleb Williams isn't going to earn his money, but like you had some incredible games last season. I'm not going to take that away from you. I'm not. You did. It happened. Many of them against my team, which was
glad you said it. I didn't want to have to say it. I didn't want to have to say it, so I'm glad you said it.
For me to handle.
Okay. There we go.
Before we start talking about you, like you're the most elite thing fucking ever, you have to play more consistently. You have to give me more than one season. You have to give me more than these games. That's just point blank period, you know?
I agree that one solid season does not reward the cover.
And it wasn't even all that solid. There was other things that were not great about that season for him. But in those clutch moments, he did come through. We can't deny. But
I mean, marketability matters too, and he's a marketable player. So
is he? I don't know. Every time I look at him, he has this like weird look on his face, and it just makes me want to like slap him. You know those people who just have like punchable, slappable faces?
The Packers fan in you, I believe, is.
No, I don't think so, because there are other people I look at that too. Like I look at Karl Anthony Towns that way. Maybe okay. All right. Listen, I'm a hater. It's a whole thing. So, but yeah, I think that's a mistake for them to move, but not my mistake to make. So we'll have to see what happens with them moving forward. But MLB, Mets are still bad. Inconsistent. Peralta was a waste. Did I miss anything?
A waste?
A waste. Yeah.
Whoa.
A waste for our team. Maybe not a waste for another team, but a waste for ours. That's not panning.
That was supposed to be your really like big off-season signing outside of Bo Bichette, who.
Where are you?
What the hell is going on there?
The only person who's playing well, who's giving us any kind of spark, is this Carson Benj kid. Who, like, did I say that right? I was definitely not pronouncing it right before
we had a conversation pre-pod.
Pre-pod where he's like, that is definitely not how you say that.
Let's get that right when we talk about him. Yeah.
Kudos to that guy. He's like the one spark that we have going for us. But this is just, end it now. We're in last place. It's a wash, guys. It's a wash.
Back in last place. I believe when we talked last week on the pod, we're
second to last.
You were second to last, and we said that could change as soon as that night.
And
I'm not sure when it changed, but yes, they are back.
Changed pretty quickly.
They're back in last. But you know what's interesting? I think I saw the other day that even as bad as they're doing, they were only like 5 games out of a wild card spot.
But that just makes me sad about how shitty our division is. Like that speaks to the division as a whole. It's like, what are we even doing here? No one's doing well except for the Braves.
Yeah. The Phillies are 5 games above 500. The Nationals are
Sanchez
1 game above 500.
Making it happen for them. He's making it happen for my fantasy team too. Shout out to Sanchez.
He's definitely he's in the Cy Young talk for sure. He's been
killing it. I'm very happy with him.
He's absolutely been killing it. Well, listen, the Mets are currently sitting at 8 games under 500. They are 6-4 in their last 10. I don't know if that makes you feel any better.
No. No.
But there is only one team or 2 teams in the National League that have less wins than the Mets do. And that would be the Rockies, who are perennially bad, and the Giants, who are atrocious this year. But yeah, there is a part of me that, not that I wanted this to happen, but I definitely just like
go ahead and say it, Ray. You did want it to happen.
No. Let me finish. I not that I want this to happen. What I'm about to say is not that I want the Mets to get out of this rut, but I think I just kind of keep expecting them to, just based off the roster that they have. I'm like, maybe you guys just got off to a really, really, really bad start, but at some point, the famous saying, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Mm-hmm. Like, we're like 60 plus games into the season. Like, this might just be who the Mets are. They might just be a badly constructed team.
Yes.
And I know they're dealing with some injuries. Like, Lindor has been out for several weeks now. Soto missed some time, but the Mets just look terrible.
They're so bad. They're so bad. I don't even watch games. I get updates on my phone. Like, sometimes I'll listen on the radio. It's just like not even worth it. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's just sad.
I thought that was going to be the case when the Yankees got news last week that Aaron Judge was going to have to miss some significant time. He's currently out with a rib fracture.
Oof. So
dealing with that, a stress fracture in his right rib. And the timeline for him it's a weird timeline, right? So they told the public that he's going to get re-imaged. So they're going to take another scan in 4 to 6 weeks, right? So it's the first week of June right now. That will put us at like mid-July just for re-imaging, right? So this is not him like starting baseball activities again. This is just for them to see how the injury is healed up until that point. So, I mean, realistically, we could easily not see Aaron Judge until like maybe mid to late August, like maybe even September. Like, that's the timeline that I'm kind of trying to just like put myself in. So I'm not like
prepared.
Yeah.
Thrown off
just mentally prepared. But I will say, in this first week since his injury was announced, I've actually been like somewhat impressed by what the Yankees have been able to do, because they've been finding a way to win games. One of my biggest knocks on them for a long time now is that they are too reliant on Aaron Judge's production throughout the entire lineup. So typically, if he's in a downward tilt, the entire lineup will be, or if he misses time, that significantly hurts the Yankees, and they don't look anything like the same team. But they're coming off a sweep of the Cleveland Guardians. So I will say the narrative behind this team all season has been that they can't beat good teams. They don't beat teams that are above 500, but they went on the road into Cleveland, who's winning the AL Central, and they swept the Cleveland Guardians. So very impressed by that. Getting production. I can't say enough about what Cody Bellinger has meant to this team. I was giving him some shit over the offseason about taking so long to figure out his contract, but let me tell you, the Yankees did the right thing bringing him back. And I'm glad they were patient and riding out that entire scenario with his free agency. But Cody Bellinger is just so fucking good at baseball, bro. Like, he does everything that you would want a baseball player to do. Like, I saw him stretch a single into a double earlier. He makes great defensive plays all the time. He does not strike out. He's one of the few players in the league that has more walks than they do strikeouts. Like, he makes contact all the time. He puts the ball in play. Had a really big 9th inning, two RBI, 10th inning yesterday. Game-winning hit for the Yankees. He's just been everything as advertised. Just a solid all-around baseball player. Love him. Now the Yankees are looking good, but the one ongoing issue that I and pretty much every Yankee fan is having right now is, and we go back to this yet again, Anthony Volpe. I just don't understand what this love affair is with Anthony Volpe. And I think at this point, not just this season, but just at this point in his career, guys, we have eyes. Not only do we have eyes, we have a sample size that is now big enough for us to look at Anthony Volpe and say, he does not belong on a major league team. And I don't wish bad on Anthony Volpe. Let me just get that out the way, right? I'm a Yankee fan at the end of the day. Like, if Anthony Volpe does well, then I'm happy because that means the Yankees have a better chance of success. But you can't keep trotting a guy out there who is not good offensively, who has not looked good defensively since his rookie year when he won Gold Glove at shortstop. Like, he's not good. In 2026, he's 20 games into the season, right? So before I even get to some of the statistics here, a lot of Yankees fans are upset because the Yankees and Aaron Boone told us one thing, and now they're kind of going back and they're doing something different, right? So a couple of episodes ago, I really gave the Yankees a lot of credit for how they've run this team this year, right? A lot of years in the past, they would see players doing bad and they would just keep running them out there, keep putting them in a lineup. And well, he'll turn it around, or his best days are still to come. It was bad. There was no accountability, it seemed, with the Yankees. But this year that has not been the case. Players haven't been producing. They've been sent down to AAA. Players haven't been doing well in the lineup. They're getting benched, right? This is the sense of urgency that Yankee fans wanted to see with this team, right? So Anthony Volpe started this season on the injured list, and Jose Caballero was the starting shortstop. Caballero played great while Volpe was out. So in the weeks preceding Volpe's return, obviously the conversation turned into, well, when Volpe comes back from injury, what are you guys going to do at shortstop position? Are you going to put Anthony Volpe back there because he's been your starting shortstop for the last 3 years? Or Jose Caballero has played great. Are you going to allow him to stay in that position? And you know what? The Yankees, to their credit, they said that is Jose Caballero's job. He's played well enough to the point where that is his position now. So then Volpe comes back. Okay. They trot him out there a few games and we're thinking, okay, this is just to see how he does to get started. And it also helped him that actually right as he returned, Jose Caballero actually went on the injured list right as that happened. So Volpe was able to slide right back into his normal role. But then when Caballero came back, Volpe was still getting playing time. So we're like, now we're like, okay, hold on. Like, you told us that this was Caballero's job. But then Judge went down, right? So Caballero also plays Judge's position in right field. So now what the Yankees have gone to is, now that Judge is hurt, they have Caballero playing right field and they still have Volpe playing at shortstop. Why are we trying so hard to get Anthony Volpe at bats? The Yankees called up Spencer Jones, who essentially is another version of Aaron Judge. He's 6'7", also plays right field. Why don't we have Spencer Jones in right field and we have Jose Caballero at his primary position, which is shortstop? Why do we continue to feed Anthony Volpe at bats? I'm not understanding it. So let's get into some of the stats here. So 2023, that was Anthony Volpe's rookie season. Okay. Anthony Volpe actually won the Gold Glove that year, so he had a great fielding season. But he only hit 209. One of his saving graces was actually that he came into the league that year as somewhat of a power hitter at shortstop. He hit 21 home runs that year. Okay. So the average didn't worry Yankee fans too much. I mean, he was a rookie. It was his first season facing big league pitching. He hit for power at some points and he won a Gold Glove. So we're thinking there can be nothing but progression from this point on. 2024. After hitting 21 home runs the season prior, he hits 12 total home runs in 160 games played that entire season. He hits for an average of 243. So not terrible, better than his rookie year, but he lost some of the power and the fielding wasn't as good. 2025, 19 home runs, hits for 212. So we've gone from 243 to a 212 average. So now we got this season, right? He's only played in 20 games this year because of injury. He's hitting 194. 1 home run.
Wow.
9 RBI. OPS of 607. So what in those numbers that I just read leads the Yankees to believe that he should be getting bats over pretty much anyone that's on that bench right now? I don't understand the love affair with him. And I defend Aaron Boone a lot. I defend the Yankees a lot because they get a lot of shit from Yankee fans who just want to see championships. And I get it. But what I always say is the Yankees have a competitive team every single year. We're in the playoffs every single year. And a lot of teams can't ask for that. So I do get defensive of Aaron Boone and Yankees management a lot, but some things I just can't defend. And this is one of them. If the Yankees are going to be successful, they need to continue exactly how they started the season, which was you play well, you get playing time. You don't play well, we're going to put somebody else in your spot. The way that they've coddled Anthony Volpe these last few years is weird to me. And I need answers as to why.
Yeah. Well, I think there's something to be said for giving players a chance to develop that whole idea of, I think that's a good one. I think quite often in professional sports, you will get moved fast if you don't get with the program. There isn't a lot of room for development in terms of really any position out there. But I think on the other hand, we've had time to watch him. You've had time to see how this has gone. And there hasn't, not only has there not been an improvement, it's been a decline. So what is happening that and to that I would say, unlike, football where there isn't really a lower league, send him down. Send him down. Have him figure out whatever it is.
They did. This is the part that blows my mind. Like once he was healthy, they said you're not coming back up to the big league team. You're staying in AAA, which is where he was rehabbing, obviously. So once his rehab was done and he was slated to come back to the major league team, they said, Jose Caballero has been playing great. So you know what, Volpe? Stay right there. Stay in the minors. Keep working on your game. Keep working on your fielding. Keep working on your hitting. Stay right there. Develop while you're down there. But then Jose Caballero got hurt. Within I believe it was just within a week or two of sending Volpe down to AAA. Caballero got hurt.
That's crazy.
They haven't sent him back down yet. And I understand the Judge injury, but that's why you called up Spencer Jones. So that you could just slot him into the right field. Call up somebody else. Volpe's hitting 194, people. And I know average isn't everything that it used to be in baseball, but if we're looking at OPS, if we're looking at his fielding, yesterday, a ball hit right at him. The Yankees are winning the game. A ball is hit right at him. Instead of getting his body in front of the ball to block the ball, I don't even play baseball and I know this. He tries to stab at the ball. The ball rolls past him, goes into center field. Boom, a run scores. Today, a ball hit right at him. He tries to do the play too quickly, throws the ball away. Runner goes from first to second. The run ends up scoring on a base hit. Like, he's not the guy that you guys thought he was. And it's okay to admit that. Volpe was sold to Yankees fans as the shortstop of the future. The next Derek Jeter. Right? I'm telling you, this is what was Jeter? This is what was put across to us as fans. Okay. Right? He was supposed to be the answer at shortstop going forward, like long term. And after his first year, like I said, he won a Gold Glove. He hit 20 plus home runs. So we saw the potential there. But guys, that was almost 4 years ago. He has not been able to duplicate that level of success at the plate or in the field. So I understand the Yankees might not want to say, okay, well, we put a lot of stock in this guy. We've been behind him for 3-4 years trying to make sure that he gets the development that he needs so that he can be our starting shortstop. It didn't work. And it's okay that some of these prospects don't work out. We have another great prospect in George Lombard Jr. who he's looking MLB ready. Try with him. But Volpe's not it. And in the interim, we have Jose Caballero, who has been very, very, very solid for us at shortstop. It's okay to send Volpe back down and say, we fucked up. We didn't hit on this one.
Yeah. That's great. The next Jeter?
I'm just telling you. And maybe that wasn't fed by the Yankees. maybe that wasn't fed by the Yankees, but the way that the Yankees were holding this kid on a pedestal before he entered the majors is what made us feel like there was potential for him to be that next icon. I feel like
you're just setting him up to fail when you do that. Like,
it's true, and it's not. It might not be fair to him. I'll agree to that. It might not be fair to him, and a lot of this is it's really not about Volpe, right? Because Volpe can only be as good as Volpe can try to be. If he can't hack it at the major league level, he can't hack it. He's not the only one. He won't be the last one. Yeah. My issue lies primarily with the Yankees because you keep trotting this kid out there every single day, knowing, right, there's too many people in Yankees brass and that work for the Yankees organization. You can't tell me that they don't see social media. You can't. It's 2026. I know half of your staff reads what's going on the internet. Yankees fans don't want him there. They don't. And it's like, I'd feel bad for Volpe. He's just a kid, but we want success. We want success at that position. And it's hard to watch an at bat knowing what the outcome is going to be 99 times out of 100. And it's not really hyperbole to say when you're hitting 194. I'm sorry.
No. I just think it's really difficult when you trot out a player and you're like, this is going to be the next blah, 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 blah. And even if maybe your organization isn't saying that, they're saying it in other ways. Like it's not necessarily those words that are coming out of their mouth, but Derek Jeter, he's a generational player. Like that's not, also, I think we use the word.
Volpe was promoted as that.
I think we use the word generational player too often now. Like this is a once in a generational player. You said that about like 3 other people and they're in the same generation. Like let's not like calm down.
They consider Soto a generational player. What do you think about that?
He's not playing like one right now.
He's one of the few Mets actually performing. But death taxes and Soto doing well.
I think you can say that about Ohtani. I'm not quite so sure we can say that about Soto.
I put Ohtani and Judge in those categories, yes.
I would say Soto's maybe like a third. Like he's a solid number 3 spot. But I feel that way with like... I feel they say this stuff all the time in football as well, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. But they'll say it about really weird people. Like... Somebody said that about Caleb Williams, and I was like, no.
A generational player?
Yeah. I was like, show me a lot more footage of this. Because I'm not seeing it. It's not saying he can't get there.
The talent has to pair with those comments.
But like, I think you can, I just think it's too hard to, like, so for instance, Pat Mahomes being compared to Tom Brady. Yes, they played at the same time, but they're of 2 generations. Tom is obviously a lot older than Mahomes. So like he's not really in that category. I don't hate that comparison. I also don't really like Tom Brady. So like that comparison doesn't bother me, but like Pat is on track to do that.
He has the trajectory.
And you can see it. He has a trajectory. I would say that you can look at, if you look at the Packers, Jordan Love has the trajectory to be the 3rd franchise quarterback in a row. That's his trajectory. Does he need to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely he does. Like, that's not even a question. But I think you can say that about players, but sometimes you just set the bar too high for them. And it's just not something that everybody's able to achieve. And I think that's, like, the NBA draft is going to come soon. And, there's lots of talk about great players and blah, 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 blah. How many of those pan out? Not as many as you think.
Yep. That's true.
But I do want to say shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes goalie, Bussy, who went in there, was not expected to play in the Stanley Cup Finals. He's 27. And he's not considered a rookie, but he's played, I think this is his first full season in the NHL. He played in the EHL, the AHL, worked his way up.
Wow. So you see that a lot. You see that a lot in baseball, older players getting their first shot.
Yeah. I think you see it the most in the MLB and the NHL because that's how their system is structured.
Right. They have developmental
NFL doesn't have
leagues.
anything like that.
Yeah.
And, the NBA to some extent with the G League, I guess, has that or playing in Europe, but it's not, it's not I don't believe it functions the same. Yeah.
They use college for that, ironically.
Well, all I got to tell you is I think that kid from BYU is going to go in top 5 picks.
Yeah, he's probably going number 1, which the Nets didn't get. I really wanted him in Brooklyn.
Well, you know what? I picked BYU to go pretty far in the NCAA tournament, and they totally fucked me over.
Partially because of him, I'm sure.
Yes. So, who knows if that kid's even going to be that great?
Yeah, he's probably going to be the number 1 pick.
Draft picks are so. I just think it's so tough to say who's gonna do well, who's gonna be a bust, and you just can't build them up like that. Though it's just too hard.
I would say typically, not always, because I can think of a couple of examples where this was not the case. But typically, number 1 picks in basketball are they're gonna have somewhat of a solid career.
Sure.
A couple years ago, the Atlanta Hawks selected Zachary Risachet, who Count how many times you heard that name in the Knicks series. So he's playing for them just sparsely. And could think of Anthony Bennett several years ago. Just certain players, they don't pan out. But number 1 picks, I mean, you got your Wembanyamas, you got your Zion Williamsons, who if he could ever stay on the court, probably be a great player. Yeah,
it's a big man.
Number 1 picks in the NBA typically end up okay, but not. I would say in baseball that probability is a lot less
questionable.
Likely. Yeah, a lot less.
I think the NFL can be very hit or miss as well.
I agree.
But I think that comes down to, you're getting picked to be, especially for quarterbacks. So you're being picked to. Cam Ward, I think, is a great example of this. Cam Ward drafted number 1 overall to go to the Tennessee Titans. They are nowhere. He is not the piece that is going to save you. Yes, he's a good quarterback and he's proven himself in college, but there are so many other things on the field that fucking matter other than your quarterback. And just to prove it, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm going to do it. And listen, is Sam Darnold a decent quarterback? Yeah, he is, and was drafted pretty high. But it took him a long time to get to where he is today. And granted, he played for the Jets. He played for some terrible teams. But if you think about that team won because that team functioned as a whole. It was not one person taking charge of that. It was not Sam Darnold leading. No, Sam Darnold was a part of it and he played well. And that's how they ended up, part of the reason why they ended up getting where they were. See, I'm not insulting him.
I thought it was coming. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought some very harsh words were going to be
of the
spoken.
Puzzle.
Okay.
Because not everybody is going to be a Tom Brady. Not everybody's going to be a Peyton Manning. It's not going to be a Favre. Not going to be a Bart Starr. Not going to be a Troy Aikman. Those are the players where you were no, that's a phenomenal. But there are plenty of quarterbacks that did the job well enough. Joe Flacco has a Super Bowl ring. Did Joe Flacco win that all by himself? Absolutely not. Ray Lewis did. That was a defense. So, you have to, I think when you just set the bar too high for players, it not only stresses them out to a level that's probably, just overall terrible for them, but it also sets the fans up to be disappointed. It sets the fans up to probably throw unnecessary hate somebody's way as a result.
Which Volpe gets.
Yeah. And I feel for the guy, but at the end of the day, if he's not doing his job, he's not doing his job. And you have to to me, that seems so odd. That's such a business decision. That seems it would be something that would be so easy
all
to
year.
do.
They've been making business decisions all year, and I've been loving just how they're moving, because that's just been a point of contention with Yankees fans for the last several years. Is the Yankees never seem like they are moving with a sense of urgency, they just have all the time in the world, and they've been moving different this year. This year really feels different, but they've taken a lot of steps back these last couple of weeks with this whole Anthony Volpe thing.
Well, I hope they get that, for your sake, I hope they get that straightened out.
keep winning games. Hey, they're winning games, so I'm not going to be as critical of them as I could be.
No.
But let me tell you something. The error that Anthony Volpe made yesterday, actually, I don't even think they ruled it an error, which, whatever. The ball was hit hard. But I say you still keep that ball in front of you. Again, another thrown ball away today that leads to a run. Thank God for Anthony Volpe that those games ended up in the Yankees winning anyway, because that type of play combined with Yankee losses, combined with Aaron Judge being out, like they're gonna want his head on a stake. I'm just telling you how it is. So he better hope that either the Yankees continue to win games, or I mean, he's not going to hope that he gets taken out of the lineup, but the Yankees better hope that they continue to win games in spite of him, or they need to make a change at shortstop. Because I said several, this actually before he came back from injury, I remember saying the Yankees are going to do him a disservice if they put him into the lineup while they're winning games the way that they are. Because the second he enters the lineup, if they begin to lose games, we're all going to look at him and point the finger. Right? It's the same exact thing right now. He's not hitting well. He's not fielding well, but he's lucking out because the Yankees are still winning games. The second that turns around, as it inevitably will, the boos are going to start raining in, and the pressure's just going to mount on him more. So I say get ahead of it. You're winning games right now. You're on a 4-game win streak. You have a day off tomorrow. Make moves and go into this series against the Toronto Blue Jays this upcoming weekend with a clear idea of what you're going to do at shortstop.
Yeah, agreed. Well, and for Rice, Jazz, and Grish, keep playing well because you're on my fantasy team, and
they've all picked it up.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean Rice has been playing great all year, but Grisham and Chisholm, off the very slow starts to begin the year, they've really ramped it up these last few weeks.
You know, if you would have told me at the beginning of doing fantasy baseball that I would have 3 Yankees players like in constant rotation on it, I would have told you I didn't think that would be effectual. But no.
And all contributors as of right now, all contributors.
Yes, all contributors. Let's go. So I'm not going to root for the Yankees. The Mets fan in me won't allow me to. But if those 3 players could play well, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
We both wish the same thing. Trust me.
Maybe I need to shop for a new team. Like you're shopping for a new football team. Maybe I need to shop for a new baseball team.
Hey, come on down.
No,
come on down.
Come on down. No, I can't do it. I'd have to pick somebody really random. I don't think I could. I mean, the only other team that I would think about picking is the Red Sox, and we would not be friends anymore if that was the case.
You got the wrong color socks. I was going to say the White Sox. The White Sox are actually not fucking terrible this year.
I know. We had that
They're
discussion.
actually kind of fun to watch this year.
Well, if I had to pick a team, a Chicago team, I would probably pick the White Sox.
Yeah, the White Sox, they're no longer the consensus worst team in baseball, so they've been a little bit fun to watch in that AL Central.
Well, I think I'll stick with the Mets for now, but, ask me in another month.
It ain't over. Yeah, I was gonna say it ain't over just yet. Let's check back in October.
Check back in
September.
August. Like, who are you kidding? We're not going anywhere.
To get you to the end of the season.
August, maybe. We'll have to see. That's gonna do it for us here at the Rundown. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.